Hi, this is Nell with Joyous Garden, and today I'm going to tell you how to get your flower bed ready to plant organically. And the first thing about flowers you have to know is that it takes a lot of energy for them to flower. So the most important thing is your soil prep. And if you're uncertain about your soil, you might want to get a soil test. You can submit it to your local ag office or online, and they only cost $10. That way you'll know if your soil is acidic, alkaline, if it has a lot of clay, if it has sand, if it has sandy loam, and that way you can amend your soil need be. So you're probably going to be planting your flowers in either 4-inch or a 6-pack or maybe gallon pots at the most. So you don't need to dig huge holes as though you're digging for a 10-foot tree. So if your soil is pretty loose, and you can probably use this shovel here, the smaller shovel. I also have this bigger digging shovel, and you can use either of those to turn your soil over to make sure it's good and aerated. And then what you're going to do next is, if your bed hasn't been composted in a while, and you might want to spread an inch of compost over the whole bed. If it has been, you can just put some into the hole as you're planting and dig a hole that's appropriate for the pot size. So you would want it a little bigger than that. And what you're going to do is add in some organic flower garden fertilizer. This happens to be Dr. Earth, EB Stone. A lot of companies make an organic flower food. And I usually don't fertilize other things that I plant, but I do flowers because they do need that energy to bloom, as I said. And besides this, I also mix in some alfalfa meal, and then I will mix in some chicken manure into that. And I will put, if it's a small 6-pack plant, I'll just put like a teaspoon or tablespoon of it in. If it's this size, I'll put like 2 tablespoons of that mix in, and I'll use 1 part of this to half a part of the alfalfa meal and half a part of the chicken manure. And then if the hole is dry too, and you want to make sure to wet the soil too, or just wet the hole where you're planting, it might make less of a mess that way. And then just cover it back up, and then put a layer of compost, at least an inch, preferably 2 or 3 on the top. And if you want, you can also use worm compost. You can mix some of that in if you prefer to use that rather than the chicken manure. Flowering things do like chicken manure though. And here's some of the compost here. An amendment. If you're doing a large flower bed, you might want to buy your amendment in bulk, and your local landscape supply company can tell you what kind of amendment you want to use, because there are different ones. And your garden center can help you out with them too, if you tell them you are planting flowers. And of course, before you do all this, I forgot to tell you, you want to remove all the weeds. And I pull them all by hand because you want to start with a nice clean bed. So make sure your weeds are all gone, and don't spray them with any chemicals to get rid of them, because this is an organic bed. So if you use all these principles, all these wonderful organic things, you will have a beautiful flower bed. This is Nell Foster, and I've just told you how to get your flower bed ready to plant organically.